Ash, back at it with another one, baby. Damn, eyes are kind of glowing today. Woke up today a little bit of anxiety. You know, maybe a lot of bit at first. Not at first, but kind of just hits me here and there. So, had scatterbrain a lot today. As you could tell, it's just, a lot going on. But hey, had to make this video. Got to keep posting these videos. 50 videos, 50 days straight, baby. Let's go. All right, minimalism for teens, adults, whoever. Who cares? Man, I look high right here. I ain't even smoking, baby. Now we at the gym too. About to hit it. All right, first of all, minimalism. I mean, it's just the art of just less, of just the necessities. That's all you need. Just strictly just the things that you need, like I said. So the less in your room, or better yet, the less in your work environment, the less distractions you have. The less you don't have to worry about. The less that's in just your whole peripheral vision, especially if you are working like me, like in your room, and there's just a lot you could just see all around. When you're in deep work or anything like that, it could pull your attention away, and it will just take you away from it. So yeah, the less in your room, better yet in your work environment, the less you get distracted by. Simple as that. Got my notes right here. I can't think of it off the dome. There's so much stuff going on in my brain, man. I don't know if it's this a little side tangent, but I don't know if it's like the government putting something out, or it was because I just smoked too much growing up. Smoked too much, I barely drink that much, but smoking definitely has cluttered my mind, and I feel like it almost deterred my soul away from me. Deterred, whatever that word is. Like, I used to be a lot more like charismatic and stuff. I'm working on it now. I'm getting back to it, trust me. You know what I mean? But I think smoking, they put something in this GMO weed, and it kind of just messes with your soul or something like that. So I could just be anxious. So yeah, the less distracted you are, the more focus you are able to obtain and eventually progressively overload. I mean, it's just the same thing as the gym, where you got to progressively overload your focus, your discipline, your mental strength. You know, getting over addictions, you got to progressively overload it. You can't just, unless if you're a G or like you can just snap out of it like that, then you're good. But a lot of people have got to progressively overload your habits and, you know, etc., etc. A great habit to adopt: only needing the essentials in life. So minimalism just reinforces that habit within you to keep just the essentials. You only need the essentials. You don't need all this extra stuff. You only need the essentials to get through life. And the more and more older I get, I'm only 21, but the more and more I realize a lot of this stuff that I was doing back then, and a lot of the stuff that I was buying too was taking me further away from God and my purpose and just myself. That's like a big thing that I realized, is like all these other toys, and some habits are good, like meditation and stuff like that, but a lot of this other distractional stuff like social media and stuff really takes you away from yourself, and it's just going to be that much harder to find yourself and get back in tune with what you really need to do and with what you're really here for. And I've had a lot of thoughts of like, why, if this is like a punishment from God, or if this is, I wouldn't say punishment, but if anything happened in the afterlife or something, like he's like, hey, I'm going to put you here, this earth, this dimension, this realm, and I'm going to see how you do. I'm going to see if you're really made for what you say you're out to be. So I don't know. I digress. You get to take yourself more seriously with minimalism on this self-development journey. Meaning it's just another step in the right direction where, hey, I don't need this extra little fancy keyboard mat, or I don't need a bunch of these extra like random pictures, or etc., etc. I feel as if it is good to have your own personality and have some like different things here and there, but it really does, especially if you have some ADHD or ADD, it just takes away your focus when you really need it, It's easy for me to go to the gym and start getting it, but now we're on to business, and now we're on to like career paths and stuff, so it's like, man, a lot of this other stuff just distracts you like crazy. And yeah, changing the environment to change your identity or self-beliefs about yourself. So the more and more minimalism you get, or just changing your room up a little bit, every time you walk back in there, at least for the first couple weeks or month, you're like, oh, okay, you're right. I'm actually taking this thing a little bit more serious. So you have like 1% better each day. Like it reminds you, oh, okay, don't do this little bad habit. Replace it with this great habit. I'm not going to go touch myself. I'm not going to go do no weird stuff like that. But instead, I'm going to meditate for this little extra couple minutes or something like that. The less you have to think about, the more mental space, clarity, capacity you have for business, gym, school, etc. So the less you have to worry about cleaning this thing or doing this thing in your room, having to change this out or do this. You wake up and you only got a certain amount of tasks or things that you have to do, so you do them. And more brain points attained throughout the days, weeks, months, years to come from minimalism. Minimalism definitely gives you that extra little push in the right direction, that extra little, okay, people distract me in the back. I don't need this part of my brain taken up by this certain thing that's not essential. So guess what? I'm going to take it out of my life, get it completely out of my brain, and have more parts of my brain, more brain points to where you really need to go, to where they really need to go. So parents, chicks will give you more respect if your room is just more minimalism organized. If you just got more space, and also the less cluttered your room, the less cluttered your mind. I've realized that I've had more and more things into my room, and I've actually had to, and it's actually been taking a toll, So if parents need more convincing that you're really taking your life seriously, starting a business and doing, what you're saying you're supposed to do, then it's a little added boost. They come into your room or something like, oh, wow, it's a lot more clean. Oh, wow, that Xbox or whatever that you've been going on for a while, you actually unplugged it and you got rid of it. Wow, I actually see you like reading a book. I see you studying. I see you doing a lot more other things that, they somewhat respect. They might not say it, but they know a little bit. They know. You know what I mean? And when getting into deep work, you need that unwavering focus. The less you can be distracted, the more you can get into that flow, that deep focus flow, which keeps you going, which keeps you in a focused state. And that's when like the real brain thoughts and like your real brain points are like really being used. And brain points is just like a certain amount of like brain capacity you have throughout the day. You could obviously you can obviously attain more through getting better sleep, better diet, fasting, etc., etc. So yeah, it also takes about 10 to 20 minutes to get back into that deep flow state if you get distracted, if your mind is off. And especially with ADHD, ADD like me, it's tough. So I had to make this video. Ash out.